Yo, yo, what's up, everybody? Hello. No, I just made it. Hey, Lucy, welcome. I'm just setting up. Yeah, got a little disoriented, but I'm setting up. I made it at a more friendly time. So I'm working on that. I'm just setting up. I'm gonna be right back. And we are talking about a very interesting topic, something that is going to affect all of us, especially if you have to redo your residence for one reason or another. Yeah, it's not easy. One moment. Un momento. All right, like, comment, share. How do I share now? Share, yes, share. Share, copy link. Okay. Thank you. So I will. You're gonna have the exact same ones. Exact same ones. So let me, where am I? And I need a glass of something to drink because this is gonna be a very, this is going to be a very interesting something that is going to affect a lot of us. One moment, let me get a drink and I'm right back. Okay. Hello. I'm coming. I'm coming. Right now. All right. Who is tagged? Who is not yet tagged? We are here to discuss about a new controversial issue of being asked to come into Dubai with 2,000 dirhams cash in hand or equivalent of $600, or you'll risk deportation. Now, Lucy, share the link for me so that I can have more people here watching me. Otherwise, I have to end up talking to myself. Hola, Ubong. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ubi, for joining in. Thank you, Lucy, for joining in. You are my biggest fans. You keep me going. This whole live thing is an idea that you very well support, and I do appreciate so much. So there is a new controversial thing in town, and everyone is saying, oh, I went through Dubai airports, I did not go through this, or oh, I did not go and I did not go through this. Now there is something that is going on, and everyone needs to confirm that it's going on. So if you pass through Dubai airport and they don't ask you for proof of financial stability, it's maybe they have sized you up and they feel comfortable with your profile. It's a purely profile based something that is going on. It's purely profile based. So if they let you go without asking you to prove that you have 2,000 dirhams, or rather $600 cash in hand, is because you have given them a reason not to doubt you. So please comment, tag people, like the video, like and share, because it's going to affect most of us. And we are also going to talk about the police clearance that is now a new mandatory, and we are also going to talk about the certificate of good conduct for some specific nationalities, of which I am a victim of this. So if you know you're like me in one way or another, maybe in being gorgeous or extra tall or being bubbly or being feisty, if you feel you relate to me in any kind of way, then this is for you. Don't tell me that, oh, my visa is valid till 2022. Forget that thing. This is going to affect you. Even though you have an existing running visa valid, you may be told by your PRO, hold on, madam, hold on, sir. We need your clearance certificate from your consulate here in UAE, and it needs to be attested from back home. Now, if you come from those countries that they don't trust you, problem, wahala day. Now tag people for me, tag everyone for me. Let us be at least like 10, then we delve into this important conversation as I grab something to drink. Don't tell me I was disorganized. I was very organized, but I did not know how the technical setup. As you can see, I have a different set today, which I am getting acclimatized to. Yeah, so the technicalities bit of it is not so easy when you go out of your comfort zone. So that's what I'm dealing with. So in the meantime, tag for me, people. I need like 10 people, my brothers and sisters, come here and like this video for me so that I will feel good about myself. I'm right back in a minute. All right. Right back. Okay. All right, you can comment on my sexy dress and the very cozy ambience. What is our topic of the day is the mandatory proof of financial stability or proof of your finances before you enter inside UAE or you get deported at your own expense. Thank you very much for the 6 of you who are currently with me, for the comments that I have so far, for the likes that I have so far. It helps the video a lot to appear on the recommended pages of every other YouTube user. Let me educate you just in case you want to venture into YouTube later on in your life. Yes, a like and a comment goes a long way because it helps notify the next person who has no idea about the current YouTuber that yes, this person exists in the platform. Now on to our main story of the day. Are you a visitor inside UAE? Have you come before and you don't have a residence? You're still a visitor. Don't worry. Let me tell you what affects you. Now, to get a visitor's visa inside UAE, before it was as easy as having a return ticket. Nobody cared about, you know, your hotel stays. Nobody cared about if you have enough money or not. And like I mentioned in the previous live that nobody cared. You are going to stay in a bed space, you're going to stay in a mansion, you're going to stay in Jumeirah, whichever way. It was all at your own disposal. Everything was left to you. But right now, they need to know even where you're going to stay. And this, according to my analyst acumen, I know that this is just a move to block the blue-collared workers into United Arab Emirates. Now, if you ask me, I could say that this whole COVID-19, it is some kind of criminal. Because why would someone who has had maybe 2 or 3 residents in Dubai not be able to get the next residence? This person has not done anything. This person is only a victim of COVID-19. Now, COVID-19 is the criminal. It's not you and I. COVID-19 is the criminal. Let me take a sip and tell you why. That's nice. That's really, really nice. Now, there are some rules that have always been in UAE which nobody cared about until now. First of all, for a visitor to come for visiting purposes and look for a job, it has always been not allowed. It has always been illegal, but nobody cared about because Dubai's mentality was like, these people have money, they're coming to spend here, and as long as they're spending here, we are good with them. But now the economy is in itself struggling. The economy is in itself not convinced with how things are going to be in the future. So you need to understand that These people are just responding to the situation. They are responding to it on the financial angle or the financial perspective, not because they don't want visitors again, but because they know the visitors come here to look for jobs. And that's the hard reality, regardless of where people are coming from. Even they're coming from all these superpower countries that people would not really think, let's say like Canada, oh, they are here, they're working, right? So yeah, they first came off as visitors, and lucky for them, they don't have to go through the hassle of looking for a visa. They just appear at the airport and get a stamp and come in and do whatever. So whether they share apartments, 20 people in Marina or whatever, you never know what really goes on behind the scenes. Some people like me, we only care that, oh, this person has got a very strong passport, they can move wherever they want. There are some things they don't tell you, like staying in a bunk bed until third or fourth floor in Marina. Yes, these are things that are happening, and you have to be a YouTuber. Hello, welcome Hazel, welcome very, very much. If you like, you can send a request so that we can be on live together. That would be great. You are one of the YouTubers that I look up to, and see now what I'm doing. I'm going live comfortably. You people give me feedback on how I'm doing. If there is something I need to fix, let me know. Let me know. So talking about the residency and the visa status, you need the 2000. First of all, I wrote the countries that were supposed to be affected by this 2000. They were Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Nepal, Pakistan, and India. So I saw some Africans arguing through the social media that you are lying. I don't have to prove 2000 that I have the 2000 or $600. You are lying. So people were going back and forth. Now, the reality is that some of them were asked, some were not. And this is purely based on your overall outlook. If you package yourself very well, even me, I will not doubt you. You understand? If you come, you have given yourself like custom made look, you smell good, you look not suspicious, I will keep you. I will let you come in. But no matter how rich you are, but you look like a suspect, I will tell you, oh yeah, post, do you have 2,000 dirhams? Where are you going to stay? I can even go to the extent of asking you to give me your academic qualifications, yeah? Just to prove that you are not going to be a nuisance in the country. And that is what the UAE immigrations have now been instructed to do. You never know, these UAE people, they're also being fired though. They're being fired, the local, the Emiratis. They're being fired for something as simple as a breach of, let's say, a low-cost airline from some low-cost country or third-world country arrives and they clear these people at immigration without putting some hurdles on them. Yes, the Emiratis have lost their jobs, even in this time. Let nobody lie to you. I have an Emirati police friend who let go of something that they were used to letting go. Now, this person works with the Dubai police. So they are the ones responsible for giving you fines for whatever reason, for lane discipline. So you find that these people, they also get terminated. They also lose their jobs. Now, this person witnessed something that his senior at work also witnessed. This person failed to give a fine. Because his senior saw it and he also saw it, he's supposed to have given a fine to the offender or the one who committed the offense. It is traffic. Nigerian immigration won't even let abroad fine if you don't have at least $300. Now it's $600. And now for some of the countries, it is a lot more. Thank God the African countries are not affected. This is affecting the STAN countries, you know, the East Europe, in between USSR and Asia and all. I don't know where to really place these people. You know, the Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, this area that I don't know if it qualifies to be USSR or Persian or East Europe or Asia, I don't know where they fall. But they have a lot more issues when it comes to entering, when it comes to the bottlenecks that they are given before they come in. Now I wrote here a few notes, and now the notes has nothing to do with the $2,000. The thing is that now there are more people stranded at the airports, more than they were when there were no flights. Did you know that? There are more people stranded here because they reach and they are supposed to be deported at their own cost for not having this $600. Now they are here. Most of them are Asians. Thank God there is no Africans. Yes, we are already used to a lot of hard necks, but thank God right now, Nigerians, Kenyans, a lot of these earmarked African countries, Egypt, they don't have to go through this. For the first time, somebody else is at least paying the price, and that person is not Africans. And it feels good to know that I only need $600 to come in, while somebody from Tajikistan needs 1,000. You know, it feels good to know that at least the system is now a little bit sober and treats people according to how they deserve to be treated, or how they have proven themselves needing to be treated. I know that it has been unfair on Africans, but now it is getting sober. That is because maybe this federal government has realized that maybe it's about time they acted fairly, because when they put the ban on the visas, the exodus that we saw. Hello Eunice, welcome. Thank you very much for being here. I really do appreciate your presence. We are, just to give you a quick update, we are talking on the visit visa requirement at the moment, and we are talking at the renewal of the residency. So we are not yet at the residency, we are still on the visit visas. Okay. We have mentioned about the stranded people at the airport, and now there is people being declined from entering, and these are purely blue-collar workers. When I say blue-collar workers, I mean everybody that is not in a corporate setting. You understand? So I don't know if people like nurses and doctors fall under blue collar, because it's not white collar. Maybe there's a different type of collar that now the linguists have to come and give us clarification. But there are people, maybe construction workers, maybe hair salonists, maybe there's a lot of people who are being blocked from coming into the country at the moment by this new rule. And we know that the deportation is at your own cost, and the 2,000 dirhams is there, and the number of people who are concerned. Now, forget about the fact that the rule has always been there. The rule is now being implemented. Are you aware that UAE visas is more than 1,000? Yes, it is actually 1,300 dirhams. That is 1,300 dirhams. And you may be subject to a bit more incurrent. You may incur a little bit more financial responsibility for the 1 month visa if your agent don't trust you. There are people the agent don't trust. They feel that you may not exit on time, so they take additional amount in terms of deposit. Now, keep in mind that the tour company or the visa issuing agent has paid a deposit with the GDRFA, that is the General Residency of Foreigners Affairs. So whether you are coming as a resident or as a visitor, they are affected. You understand? Now the agency has placed an amount just in case there is any defaulters, just in case there are any people who come into the country and refuse to exit at the correct time. So in the event that somebody has a visit visa or a tourist visa and they don't exit on time, and they have not paid their own deposit, then the agent that gave you the visa gets to pay for it. And this is why they make it a bit more difficult. But I'm happy with the conduct that Nigerians have shown, especially from the time that they were denied the renewal of visas. They quietly said, we cannot come and kill ourselves for you. They exited, they all went, and that was a very brave thing. That was a very brave thing. And then considering the fact that now the federal government of Nigeria also came and say that let your flights not land here. It's gonna be a tit for tat. 1 month is not up to 1,000. Just did some visas the other day, is 500. Okay, Eunice, I think you are talking for Kenyans. The response was for Nigerians, their visa is more than 1,000 for 1 month. Just to make it very clarified, it's more than 1,000 dirham per month for a Nigerian visa. Keep in mind, Eunice, that Nigerian visa is the most expensive visit visa inside UAE. So they say that Dubai is their abroad and they really love Dubai, and it's easier. It has been easier to come to Dubai for all the African countries and for all the Asian countries. But now it is different. Now it is different. Even us that we have had residencies, it's impossible for us. In fact, the next issue I will be tackling is on the residence visas, which I am going to talk from a personal experience of what I'm going through right now. You will not believe it. In fact, you will pity me. You will enter my screen and give me tissues because I need them. How much money I've spent, how much I have waited, how much I have done what and what, but it does not work because right now it is a money-making affair. It is a constraint. It is about sieving, or I don't know what the word is. It's about deciding who stays and who doesn't stay. It is like picking out the bad beans from the good beans, you understand? And there is no way that you will do that successfully with people, especially people who have been on employment visa. It would not be realistic, it would not make sense, and most of the time it's going to be unfair. Now as we are about wrapping up on the visit visas, we are now going to enter into residence. Now you may be somebody whose visa is still valid, maybe from 1 year from now or 2 years from now. And we also know that this year, 2020, is the time. The resident visa situation has been very stressful. Now, Hazel, I am going to address that with this next point. It is going to be extra frustrating. I know some people who have been trying to get their visas for more than 2 months. They still don't have it up until now. Now let's go step by step into what is going to cost you now for a residence visa. Now you understand that in this time, a lot of companies were closed, a lot of visas were cancelled. In fact, this year it goes on record, I think, in the history of United Arab Emirates to have the highest number of cancellation. You know, in 2008, there was an international recession that affected many people, but visas were not cancelled inside UAE as much as it has been done this year. Now, that was an international situation, did not really affect them. And at that time, I think the general population of UAE was not as big as it is at the moment. Their population around that time was hardly up to 5 million. And right now we are at 10 million. In fact, we have just crossed the 10 million recently, I think, in the census or in the statistics that was done maybe 2 or 3 months back. Now, putting that aside, now they have come up with a lot of bottlenecks when it comes to giving the residency visa. I was of the assumption that if you had an existing visa, there is the trust factor that should be there, but that is not the case at all. In fact, they have made it equally frustrating. Now, let me give you an account of myself. I was made redundant. Now, my visa was expired at the time that I lost my job. So it means I have two situations to deal with. I have an expired document, which means even if I was not made redundant, I was due for renewing their documents. Now, what do I have to go through at the moment? First of all, the payment you need to pay is a lot more, and you need police clearance. As I talk to you now, I have been waiting for mine for more than 72 hours. Usually it takes only 24 hours. Now, being somebody who have a visa with Emirates Airline, I think of my profile to be good enough not to go through the headache of being denied a police clearance. Now, it has happened to me. Right now, after this live video, I am going to head to Al Basha police station to ask them, this is my expired Emirates ID. Do I have any case against me? Do I have any default? Maybe I did not pay my due or a Tisalat bill. Maybe I crossed somebody. Maybe somebody just reported me for some random reason. you never know. And that is what I'm going to do now. And be sure that I will let you know how it goes. I am going to go to the police station, so you know what my schedule is after this live video. Now, you need a police clearance. Police clearance is a financial implication that you now have. If they don't clear it, the first payment goes. The same thing goes for a lot of things. Your driving license, any type of clearance you may want. Now, this thing is about 220 dirhams. In some cases, it may be more. Now, I have spent 220 dirhams for police clearance. I don't know what police clearance actually stands for. Being somebody that does not have any criminal history, being somebody whose fingerprint has never been found anywhere. The only time I have had to interact with police is if I have crossed the radar and I have a fine, of which I don't need to interact with them. I pay my fine online, so they don't get to see my face. You understand? But then I have a rejection or a delay in my police clearance. That means something. You know what that means? It's not that I've done anything. It's because I'm supposed to pay twice. So the economy is already boosting itself from your pocket, whether you like it or not. It's a very simple situation. We need money. We are going to get it anyway. Now, for freelance visa holders, you realize that maybe you have become a lot more familiar with freelance visa this year than you were before, because before everyone was pro-employment. Now in this year, you have realized that, oh, employment is not all that rosy. Let me try to do something else that if I get pushed, my feet is spread apart and I have some flexibility with myself in case something happens. Now you realize that in this very year, all the companies set up, institutions, they have been very active. In fact, on my Instagram, does this apply to employment visas too? Yes, you will need to get a police clearance for your employment visa. You will need to get a police clearance for your freelance visa. Actually, these two, they are basically the same thing. How does the freelance visa and the employment visa work? For the employment visa, it means company ABC has hired me, or company XYZ has hired me for a specific sum of money. We have this contract. Maybe I'll be getting 10,000 dirham per month, 2 days off, 180 hours of work. So it is a lot more channeled, and it means you are only attached to that company. You are only patented to that company, and there is an inlet and outlet as far as your agreement is concerned. Now, what is the difference with a freelance visa? A freelance visa is basically me going to a random company that have a lot more visa allocations, and they are not doing a specific business. So their business is to open a company so that they can sell visas. Now, how does it work? After I get my visa from them, then I have to source for my means of getting finances. In return, they give me okay. I have to source for my own self. In that freelance visa, I say maybe I will pay myself 500 dirhams or 5,000 dirhams. So at the end of every month, I have to go to Al Ansari or UAE Exchange or whatever, or even go back to that company and give them the money they are supposed to pay me as a salary. Why do I have to go through this hassle every month? Because there is something called the WPS system. That is the wage protection system. The wage protection system is an arm of the government that ensures that every employer pays their employees. Now, as a freelancer, I don't owe this company anything because I didn't do any work for them. But them, they are a registered institution as a company, and they have to show that I am under their visa, I am being paid. Well, basically, I'm not doing any physical work, so it means I have to go and pay myself through them. Otherwise, I get an absconding, and absconding is almost similar to ban. Absconding is same as somebody who is employed but they're not showing up at work. That is exactly how different it is. And still, you will need to get the procedures. Now, we have talked about the police clearance certificate. Usually, they say it takes about 24 hours. You will be charged 220 dirhams. In some cases, like mine, it has taken more, and now I have to go to the police station and ask them, hey guys, what's up? In fact, I'm going to try and speak to them in Arabic to validate myself and say, ya habibi, shu sar, lesh hek matala le certificate tabai, wala shu, ana amle shi, wala eh. So I have to go and act, neutralize or pacify the situation. I'm going to act nice, which I don't really need to. I don't need to go and act nice, asking them something that should come in 24 hours. Why don't I have it in 72 hours? So that is that. And now the next thing we have is the certificate of good conduct. As you know, certificate of good conduct, before, the rest of us did not care unless you are working on a sensitive position, like maybe you are working in the bank. Not just any bank, not just like a bank teller. You have to be working in, let's say, like the central bank. You have to working in a police department, or maybe you have to be working with the dignitaries. Let's say you're working with the sheikh directly or something like that. Those are the situations that you are required to have a certificate of good conduct. I mean, why should I be a steward having certificate of good conduct? I am going to steal the cooking pots in the kitchen. Does not make sense. But this is a strategy to make money. Now, what is most depressing about this is that some countries have been earmarked. I like using this word earmarked a lot, because you will find that a new rule has been deployed that is going to affect people, but it's affecting some people more than others. So this, when I say deployed, when I say earmarked, this is exactly what I mean. Like right now, a Kenyan citizen will need certificate of good conduct to get their visa. Well, Uganda to our right or to our left do not need. So Kenyans have been earmarked. You understand why I'm quite rampant when it comes to using this word. So right now, as far as the African context is concerned, Kenya, Nigeria, Egypt, and there is a fourth country which I'm not sure exactly. I have to research for that. Anyway, it's a country that does not make waves. You know, when you make waves, when you're all over the place, then people get interested about you. Now, these three people have to have certificate of good conduct to be able to get the next visa. Tell me, this certificate of good conduct has to be attested. So what does it mean? After I get my police clearance from here, then I have to go to my embassy here in Dubai and then get them to do for me this certificate of good conduct. Of course, they take your fingerprint. They may want to look at any of your past, any area. They may want to look at whatever they please. They may look at your credit scores. They may look at your previous company. They may look at where you stay. They may look at where you're based back home. This could be affected in any way around you. And now when they finally approve and feel that you are a safe person to get the certificate of good conduct from Dubai, now the main problem starts. It has to be attested back in your country. Like, let's say for my country, Kenya, it will go to, I don't remember what it is though, but this whole procedure of this document leaving UAE, going to Kenya, somebody has to look at a pile. And you see, our people in Kenya, some of them are very bureaucratic. Sorry to use this term on social media. Some of them are very bureaucratic. And even like certificate of good conduct, you need to know somebody before it can move. You need to know somebody before your passport can come out. You need to know somebody even for your title deed or logbook to come out. You need to know somebody. You know, it's a place that you can buy a car and 2 years down the line, you don't have your logbook. Like, you don't have something to certify your ownership of the very property you have purchased and paid in full. Now, this goes out to your country for attestation, and then it comes back. This is when now you go for your medicals. This is when now the medicals has taken a different approach, because the whole COVID-19 situation, I think it has triggered a lot of other family of viruses that you now find they must find something in your blood when you go for the test. They must find something, because by this lockdown, there are some germs, or there are some viruses that are actually good for you. And now with the lockdown, when there is no human-to-human interaction, it has weakened the immunity of many people. So now you go to get tested, they find something else that is not corona, and that thing also cannot support you getting your residence. So this is a whole new situation that people like me who sit down to analyze about everything, even the things that don't necessarily affect our lives, we just want to do a live on your day-to-day hustle, or how you've been surviving in Dubai since your redundancy. Ama uko na sponsor. Next Saturday, I will actually do a live on how I haven't been really staying on top of my bills, but I've also not been staying under my bills. Like, I have not let my bills overtake me in terms of my rent, in terms of, some of you know that I have a car on a payment plan, which I am this close to finishing. So I have also been going to school, even in the quarantine period, and a lot more. So I am going to fill you in, and some of you that are brave, you will be making at least some money. And sometimes, trust me, I go out and I make money that if I was still employed at the airport, I may need to go to that airport for like 4 or 5 days to make that kind of money. But I can go out and make it in a single day. Not sponsor related, just me working. I'm a very handy person. Very, very handy person. As you see, my hands, the size speak for themselves. That is a very tricky situation you have put me on, Lucy, but I'm up for it, because I think maybe a month or two before I actually got redundant, I had placed down a list. If you go back to my channel, there is a video that has a headline, 6 or 7 ways on how to manage redundancy. And it's a video that has done really well here on YouTube. It has almost 2,000 plus views. That only speaks volume on the fact that it is a video that is serving its purpose. Otherwise, 2,000 people will not find a reason to view it. So I am going to do that just to give you an idea, guys. I'm a very active person, and I'm very fit for that matter. So I do a lot of things, which I will compile them all down and talk about them next week. So let somebody who would want to know more about me come on next week. Some of them are very embarrassing, but I will share them all the way, because I am a YouTuber, and most of what I do now is not only my business, but the business of everybody who feels that I am worth their time online. So I'm very humbled. I'm taking the challenge. It's gonna be next Saturday, 3:30 p.m. without fail. I also hope that I can do the live video on my place of hustle. That would be very, very good and important for me. Now, back to the residency aspect that we are talking about. Now, there are some things that maybe you go for a 3 years visa or a 2 years visa, and they decide to shorten it. I did not know that there is this option until I am going for a different freelancer type of visa that needs a little bit more. And once this is completed, of course, I will come here and give you a whole new video of being brave in UAE. You may not know, maybe the next thing you could be watching me here, and I could also be somebody who can provide your visa, or somebody who can actually employ you. But you know, we have to work together to make the money together. Now, the predicaments about getting the visas are not ending. Now they have become so much. there is not only Nigeria, some other countries can also not get the employment visa, especially in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is the most notorious. I think Abu Dhabi, they don't really care about you. They still have some oil money, so they're good to go. They don't need to make you pay police clearance twice. They don't need to make you fail your driving test. They don't need to make you pay RTA fine non-stop like some other Emirates that we know. You know, an Emirate that they will sell you alcohol and arrest you at the door and say you have alcohol. Come here. You understand? So there's a lot of that going on, but I think it is very pressuresome for people who just lost their jobs. A lot of companies too, were not able to go on even after laying off people. They could not sustain themselves because of fines. Now, take an example of a salon that has about 6 salones, so plus the owner, give or take maybe up to 10 staff. These 10 staff, you cannot be all at work at the same time because of the space and the social distancing aspect. Now, this social distancing is just something that they now use to make extra money. For example, you go to the mall. You reach in the mall, you're 2 people, you're trying to save your time, to maintain your space as much as you can. You enter a shop, maybe you're just 2 customers. While you're there buying, the shop owner has already been given a fine because of social distancing. Now, if you want people to stay away from somewhere, why would you open the beach? It's a beach, and we are there, and you want me to swim with a mask? It does not make sense. It really does not make sense. So there are some things that if people are not going to be careful, you may even sell your clothes and go back home naked, because the system has already been set up in such a way that you are supposed to leave empty-handed anyway. And that is how they want it. There is no escape. There is no escape for you. And that is what we are seeing with the new requirements for the visa acquisition in Dubai. So Ubong, to answer your question, and Hazel, to answer your question, if you are still here with me, I appreciate your patience so far. To answer your questions, there are new rules, or there are new procedures to getting your residence, whether it's employment or it's freelance. Just calculate it to the time frame of at least 1 month to get it. It's not like before that you do everything and maybe you have your Emirates ID in 2 weeks. In these 2 weeks, it has been compressed and you have got everything. No, now it's going to take a long time, regardless of having the police clearances, regardless of having your certificate of good conduct, regardless of passing your own medicals. They will still come down and reject your visa that a company has applied for. And now the bad thing, I have seen one Indian YouTuber that I follow. I think we do similar kind of content when it comes to just the expatriates' welfare when they are within the Gulf region, not only necessarily. Oh, thank you very much for being here. I really do appreciate, Hazel. Thank you so much. So there is this Indian what about applying visa in a new company from another old company which you have completed your contract? Does it take all the procedure? Yes, Eunice, to answer your question, now police clearance is going to be standard, but certificate of good conduct is still not cleared whether it's going to be standard or not. But police clearance, yes, you do need it, and it would help if you can pre-apply for it the moment that you know that you will need to change your visa from one company to another. Like I said in my previous video, your visa, once it's cancelled, even if it is expired, it still has to be cancelled. It still has to be cancelled for you to be able to acquire the next one. Now, this is something that they have just put. This is a blanket requirement for everyone at the moment. So you cannot say that this country does not need. As far as Saudis, I think only Saudis are exempted because they don't need any kind of documentation to work around. But any other person that requires a visa that cannot operate within UAE with just their ID card will need it. So whether you are in a country that is very, very close to UAE, like we know UAE just signed a peace deal with Israel, and they went all the way to Chicago or Washington to sign the peace deal. And we know that there is a caravan that has already arrived from UAE and has arrived in Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is the capital city of Israel. And we know that the Al-I, that is the national carrier for Israel, has been coming to Abu Dhabi. So with all this being done, still until now, regardless of the peace deal, UAE individuals and Israeli individuals are still not given the clearance to work on that level. So there is a lot of things that they are giving tolerance little by little. They don't entirely give, like, let's say they're giving me this book. They will not tell me, Lizzie, the whole book is yours. It's like they want to give me page by page. Tomorrow one page, the next day one page. They will tell you, okay, from this day you have ownership of 3 pages. It does not make sense. And I think these are just strategies to try and get defaulters to pay fine. Because from what I've realized in UAE, there is no actual jail time for anything. No, there is no actual jail time. Everything is streamlined at a fine angle. So you can have something that they will tell you you can't take photos of people in public, it is criminal. They will jail you for 3 months, but still fine is there. So it is more of fine oriented, it's more of fines oriented, which in all honesty, from my perspective, is just a money-making business. There is no actual reason to make people go through what sometimes you go through. Just tell them, this is the much you have to pay. Let me know that it's business. Let me just be aware that it's entirely business, so that I know I get this in exchange of this. Let's barter trade it. But they are also not brave enough to come out very clearly about that. So just to summarize, we have talked about the visit visas, which you now need the latest requirement, which they're very, very firm on, or you get deported to your country. You need to have the $600 or an amount of 2,000 dirhams. For some nationalities, you have to prove that where you're going is going to be safe. For example, the very first casualty of this was the Filipinos. Now, the Filipinos, at the beginning of September, it's close to 1 month now. At the beginning of September, they came up with one crazy thing that there has been a lot of human trafficking in Philippines. Now, how will you traffic anybody into UAE? It doesn't make sense. They don't have all these torture places and stuff like that, or at least if there is, we don't know that they exist. So let's just be realistic, or rather objective in our reasoning. So the Filipinos, they were told, because of the human trafficking and the Filipino embassy coming to say this, coming to say that, this is happening, that's not happening. They now told them, before you can invite somebody as a Filipina to visit you, you must have a 10,000 dirhams salary certificate. 10,000 dirhams. And if you're a couple, your aggregate should be 14,000, like husband and wife, 14,000 together. Or if you as a couple have children, your total income in that family must be 18,000. Now we know very well the Filipinos are not the highest paid in the country. We know the jobs that have been set aside for them. We know they want to make them barrister. They want to make them receptionists for the nail station. They want to make them the people for metro cleaning. We know the kind of jobs they have set aside for them. It's not like we will be shy to say online. It's just the reality that I, Lizzie, don't have to come and say. It's something that everyone can see. Now, to tell this person that they need a salary of 10,000 before they can have a visitor here, in short, is to tell them you are blocked from coming in if you're outside. You cannot come and visit your family. And that is what we are seeing with all these new bottlenecks. Now, at the moment, as of today, the 17th of October, when we are doing this live streaming, there's only Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Nepal, Pakistan, and India. These 5 countries When they land, they should be aware that they put the money together with their passport for stamping. Otherwise, deportation. These are the 5 confirmed countries that must have that 2,000 just to clear it. It's official for them. But for any other country, I think they are doing it based on profiling. So if you come, you have packaged yourself very well, then you may just be safe. You understand? The other thing is that we know they are constraining the blue-collared workers from coming into UAE. As you already know, there's a lot of them already who are just floating in the market with no specific employment. Okay, what else are we talking about? The new rules for visa acquisition, that is, you need to have a police clearance, which is costing you 220, certificate of good conduct, which has to be attested by your country back home. Despite of getting it from your consulate in UAE, you have to have it attested back home. And the procedure could take up to 1 month. So during this time, if you have an overstay, just be calculating. So if you can afford it, maybe go home, get it over there and then come back. Because if you have submitted your documents between this time that you have provided all the necessary documents, between this time and when they actually the procedure for giving you the visa, they are counting this overstay. Now, let's say you asked me to talk about my hustle, how I have been surviving after redundancy. Now, I'm just going to disclose a situation that I felt bad about, and this has been part of my hustle. Sorry. There is a lady whose visa, she's Nigerian. So I was dropping her at the airport. She was taking the flight that is, I think, 2:15 a.m. So she has to be at the airport about 11 or thereabout. So this lady, her visa expired on the 9th of this month. And I was taking her to the airport on the 12th. Now, if you know, there was a ban for Nigerian visas all the way to 8th. So get this mathematics very well. They started giving visas on the 8th, right? And her visa expired on the 9th, just the next day. And she traveled on the 12th. She was charged 330. Now, after I released her to go inside, I have paid my parking at the airport and I'm going. Now she calls me that I cannot go inside. I am owing 30 dirham extra. I'm like, what? You're owing 30 dirham for what? It's now when I have to park on the side of the road because I don't have my hands-free on. And she tells me that, yes, my visa expired on the 9th and now they are charging me extra 330 for overstay. She has visit visa. 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, she's going at midnight. So she crossed the immigration before midnight and she was charged 330 dirhams. So she didn't have the 30 and almost missed her flight. I told her, you're a sharp girl. Get any person around you to give you the 30 dirham. When you reach Lagos, you sort them. Whatever, just find something. Don't miss your flight because of 30 dirhams. And that is something that is still happening. I just thought I should highlight that there is no tolerance. There is no tolerance whatsoever. So somebody like me, as I'm still waiting to get all my documents in order before I can process the freelance visa. Now, to answer on behalf of all freelancers, hello to all of you. We are going to be together. We are going to hustle together because that is what the system needs. And I am happy about the fact that it makes us a lot more aggressive when it comes to getting something on the table. You understand? So some of the freelancers, they actually get more on, their tables are fuller than those who are actually on employment. And that is a good thing. So just wrapping up, you need the certificate of good conduct and police clearance. And having talked about police clearance, I think it's about time that I kiss you goodbye and go to Al Basha police station and ask them, guys, Am I a criminal? Why don't I have my clearance? So if you have any questions regarding your visa up until this far, thank you very much for having joined and tuned with me. If you have any questions, it's a good time to throw them in because the time is fast spent and I wouldn't wish to take up all your Saturday afternoon. So drop in the questions, drop them in. Let's see what we have instant answers and what needs research. As you know, it's an information channel and I take full responsibility of what I bring out here. So if I am not sure, I always request for your tolerance to go and research. If it's something I know immediately, and then I give you the response right there and then. So yeah, I'm waiting, and I highly recommend you guys prepare yourself with something like this next Saturday because I'll be talking about my hustle for the past 4 months. Hey, it has been bumpy, but I have been exposed to a lot of strength, a lot of outgoing personality, a lot of knowledge of the city, a lot of knowing the hustle avenues. And if somebody is interested, it's me here. In fact, I highlighted some time back that there is some old people coming to town. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, for the police clearance, you need to download the Dubai Police app because even if you go to the police station, we know the police are sometimes very lazy. You go there and they tell you, Habibi, go and do it online. So we know that they will not help you. So download the police app on your phone and then apply for it. You need to pay online. So normally it takes approximately 24 hours and they will send you an email that it has been cleared or not cleared. If it's not cleared, they don't get back to you. That is what I'm learning so far. So if it's cleared, you get it. And of course, you can present it to your PRO. Oh, thank you very much, Ubong. This is an information channel. I wish we can bring in some comedy sometime. But next week is going to be an interesting one because Lucy has challenged me to talk about my hustle during redundancy and how I've been staying on top of my bills. So I am going to be as honest as possible, and I highly recommend you people get something that will be keeping you busy because this is supposed to be very interesting, very informative, and very eye-opening because some of you don't know there is very many avenues of making money. Some of you don't even know about your strengths. And now this is where QTV comes in to sensitize you, to make you understand, to bring out the potential of those that don't really know how potentially packed they are. So if there is any questions apart from the police clearance, apart from the visa, apart from the certificate of good conduct, we are here. I still have maybe 2 minutes. Eunice, you want to know about the avenues to make money. I am taking up the challenge accepted. So next week, next Saturday, I will be sharing all the hustles that I have done. You understand? All the hustles I have done from the time I was made redundant and how I have been staying at par with my bills because I cannot say I have stayed above them. I have not stayed above them, but also I have not stayed below them, which is very important because in our next bulletins, we will also be looking at the debt trap for the people inside UAE. There's a lot of people who are literally handcuffed with debts through loans, through getting into some gambling with credit card, through a lot of things that you may not know. Some company contracts are even debt trap in itself. So you need to understand some of these things, how it works. But I am going to talk specifically about myself, how I've been staying above my bills or at par with my bills. That is gonna be upcoming on a live video next week, Saturday, 3:30 p.m. So if there is any questions, this is a good time, or I can sip away and kiss you all goodbye. Go and look about my police clearance. So thank you all very much for staying with me. I really do appreciate you guys. Are so amazing. Who stays with me 1 hour like this? I owe you guys. I owe you guys. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate. Have a lovely weekend. Bye bye. Toodles.